Good morning. Here we are, Thanksgiving week. Can't believe rolling right along. Gonna try to move quickly today. I turned it out, probably too much stuff here, but it's already down, so I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna start off though with the auto section. Some of you I know enjoy that. I want to talk about Rivian, the e-truck. Some of you may not know about that, but they're building and have started building an e-truck in, I think, Illinois. They just did a stock release. They went public, and the stock today is at $123. That gives them a market cap of $88 billion, and GM is at 85. So you have a startup company, e-company, immediately with more market value than GM. It's insane. So this is that e-bubble that's out there that everybody's so thrilled with. I guess people think that this is going to be, they're jumping in like it's an Amazon or something. I'm going to get in at the start and make some money. That's my only guess there. They raised $16 billion in this stock offering. Their 6-month net loss this year is $1 billion. So they've already allocated $8 billion of the money they raised to put into the company. So there's a $9 billion burn. Well, who knows by year end, but crazy numbers. And Rivian has to increase their capacity. They have to increase their battery production. They have no servicing points, and they need to get chargers out there. So that's one of the things they're working on. That's all quotes from them as to what they need to do. But here's the quote. I've said this before, and I think this is the second company. We expect to operate at a negative gross profit per vehicle. This just absolutely blows my mind. That's today's speak and spin. Negative gross profit. In 30 years, in 20 groups, I've never heard that word. Profit is positive or negative. It's either a loss or it's a profit. It's not a negative gross profit. So that semantics is just such bull, in my opinion. That's a quote, and then another quote, and I pulled a little bit out of this to shorten it. Gross profit losses we expect to increase even as our revenue increases. So that gives me a warm and fuzzy feeling about buying their stock. I don't know. Time will tell. I'll probably have to go back and look at this thing a couple years from now. Say, boy, you were stupid. You missed that one. But all the red flags are there for me. Negative gross profit just cracks me up. And of course, I usually have my favorites to pick on, but they give me so much ammunition. Carvana, their sales are up 74%. Their net loss last quarter was $68 million. The previous quarter, same time of year, was $18 million. So they've done a great job getting their sales up and their losses up. They said their problems are reconditioning, delivery, and title process. Well, that's no surprise, is it? They can't handle what they're doing. I received an email with customer complaints on Carvana, and the negative reviews are unbelievable. BBB has them at a 2.1 star rating. I think there were 1,700 complaints unsolved last quarter. But if you want to look at negative reviews, you've got to be careful always what you're looking at. But DealerRater, really good company that we worked with, has them at 4 or 5 stars. I didn't even get into it. But DealerRater teaches you when you hire them, so they're hired by Carvana, how to get your best reviews out there and to make sure that you are getting good reviews, and they force it to try to get that. So DealerRater, all the ones they get are the good ones. So, of course, they would have a very high rating. So that's that. Thoughts on 2 here. We'll see how that plays out. Today, I'm going to rip because I've got a lot, so I'm going to just shorten it up, and it's little thought points for you rather than developing everything. But Lou Holtz Motivation was the title. Lou Holtz was a great coach. This meeting that he put on, I watched in 1986 with Chevrolet, and it was great. So if you search it, YouTube, it's there, and that's what I did. Lou took 6 different college teams to bowl games. The guy obviously was good at something, and it was motivating and training players. But I always found him to be a great speaker. And when I went through this meeting, a lot of the stuff, I think he influenced me, but a lot of his stuff is really stuff that's all out there and logical when you start picking at it. But so I'm going to hit some of the highlights of what I saw. He said competition is with ourselves and not others. We can read negatives on others or think that, but we don't need to do that, and we shouldn't do that. Really, we're in competition with ourselves, and we should look at it that way. When you're knocked down, don't stay down. We're going to get knocked down in this life. It's just the way things are. And you've got to motivate yourself to stand back up. Don't wait for someone else to motivate you. So watching this on motivation is moot. You should not let me do it. Well, right? So don't wait for someone else to motivate you. Can you live with failure? Don't accept second place when first is available. I kind of like that. This one recurs, but you can get anything you want if you help others get what they want. Here, I think it goes back to humble that we talked about, I think it was last week, listening to people, empathy, these kind of things. When you listen to other people and see what they need to do, how can you dovetail with that or help them? When you help others, of course, you become more successful, which is my ending quote here today. But set a goal. Success is obtained by uncommon people. Goals cause you to do things you wouldn't want to do. So a lot of times, just deadlines, for instance, you know is coming up. It's not necessarily a goal, but kind of. But that's hanging out there, and you know that you need to get something done by then. So it's kind of a forced goal. But I know that motivates me when I have something hanging that I'm going to have to prepare for, and you want to do that. And that's what goals cause you to do, some things that maybe you wouldn't do. So setting goals is important. Don't undersell yourself. You can't say, I can't do this. You need to know that you can. I think we've talked about that in a motivation thing before too. Am I doing the best I can? You feel good about yourself when you come home and you did something right. If you have a good day and you were ticking off the boxes or got things done that were important, or you just know that you did a good job, you feel better. And you have to remember that when you're dragging a little bit or when you're knocked down, and know that you need to do the best you can. Checklists are important. I really work by that, talked about that before, where you list things out for the day, for the week, for the month, things that are hanging out there, deadlines, things that you want to get done, and ticking them off, knowing you got them done is I think very satisfying. And if you did it right, even better, right? Fundamentals, important to success. Whatever your job or your relationships, anything, the fundamentals, the pieces of that are always the most important. So again, you establish those pieces, and maybe you make the checklist of that and go after it. Commitment is important. Not, it's really, I'll get it done. not just I'm going to try. The commitment isn't the try part. The commitment is I'm going to get it done. And that's another very positive thing in here. Enthusiasm turns average person into greatness. I know a lot of times the enthusiasm for me, for instance, selling the Camaros, I was enthusiastic about the product and about the people, and I think that showed and that wore off, and it really helped me in the process because my enthusiasm was catching. So certain things that I believe, if I'm enthusiastic about it, it gets passed on, it gets picked up, and it helps you. Really, Lou said at one point, there's 3 key questions that people are going to be looking at or asking you. Can I trust you? Do you know what you're talking about? Do you care about me personally? So the trust issue, of course, are you reliable and trustworthy? Do you have the fundamentals? Do you know about your product or yourself or your job or whatever it is that we're talking about here? Do you know and have the knowledge to convey that to someone? And do you care about the person that you're working with or your customer or who you're talking with? And that's a big thing. That's the listening, humble, they come first. 2 ears, 1 mouth. Why is that? You have to remember that people want to feel important. And I think we all just kind of need that, a little bit of reinforcement. We want to feel special, and I don't know what that is, but so when you're working, talking, thinking about this, you want others to feel special, and how can you do that? So basically, to recap, I'm going to pick the points out, and you can develop that yourself, basically, but you've got to set some goals. You need a checklist. You need to know the fundamentals. You have to be enthusiastic. You have to be trustworthy. And those pieces out of here, I think, will help you and should be a motivator to you to do a better job, be a better person. And so I'm going to end here with this quote from Lou, but make other people feel better for having been around you. So that's being positive. When people have a positive experience with you and they enjoy being around you, you must be doing something right. So maybe you can go back and look at that and see what you think. So I hope I kind of ripped through that and didn't explain, but best thing would be go to YouTube and pick up on it and see what you think. But I think the guy's a great guy and certainly did something right. So that's it this week. Go out there, do something right, stay up, and help some other people. Thanks. Bye.